Hello everybody, and welcome to Running Around Hopelessly in Super Metroid Golden Dawn.
Presented to you by ShyGuyExpress.
And this other punk. Anyway, I'll let you explain a little bit during this amazing opening cutscene that is interesting.
Okay, this run is basically a test run I did because I got this idea that I could skip Dragon. And, well, I kind of forgot that you couldn't. But this was basically a test run for that. So it's a semi-TAS thing where I tried to do rooms, like, I'd take a save state at the beginning of a room and try to do a room pretty good. And then I'd also use save states for difficult tricks. There's nothing in this hack that is technically impossible to be done without tool assistance, but...
it's true of every TAS.
I wouldn't say that.
Hey, if it can be done on the hardware, it's possible. Maybe not humanly possible, but it's possible.
Well, I just said humanly possible.
You know what? Whatever. Anyway, this is more like a bad TAS / speedrun.
Yeah, it's just
That's basically all you need to say.
You'll see me do stupid stuff in here just because I was playing around.
Yes. But anyway, you actually hold the record for the speedrun on this, I believe, for fastest time.
Yes, I have a human speedrun of this hack that completes it in 58 minutes in-game time.
Yeah, and this would beat that, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty certain this would beat that.
Except he forgot something. So, anyway, his whole thing with Dragon was, he was excited about this and told me, you know, I could skip Dragon. Because I don't need space jump for this one part. I'm like, but there's a statue room. I'm like, no, there's not. Don't you remember? Ridley's in the escape. That's correct, but there's still a statue room. But of course, you didn't believe me at all. And guess what you found in the run? A stinking statue room.
Yeah, I completely forgot. I haven't played this hack.
I told you about it. I don't even like this. Okay, just make this clear. I am not a fan of this hack. It annoys me.
I'd say this hack has a lot of flaws, but it was also pretty good for the time.
Well, it's one of the few hacks in existence. Of course, it's been one of the good ones for the time. I guess you like it a lot because there's a lot of different paths and stuff you can go, which is true.
I like it for speedrunning, pretty much, because it can be broken apart in ways that do not seem intended.
So, anyway, just a wonderful series. Very glad you can skip this now. Release more. So actually we'll see quite a bit of interesting stuff in this that you do.
Yeah, there's a few tricks I do that are, well, I guess they're known, but they're just not common to see.
And they haven't been applied to a lot of the hacks that have been TAS'd already. Like this one. So in actuality, this... Okay, so this is, like I said, it's like a really bad TAS, especially toward the end where you see some very poor management of stuff.
Yeah.
We'll get to that later. There's still quite a bit of interesting stuff. I guess we're more going to be taking apart the run and the hack. Just because I can take apart this hack because it's super annoying. And you see the Star Fox reference in the background. It's wonderful X.
Sector Z.
Isn't that Sector X?
I thought it's Sector Z.
Well, there's Sector X, Y, and Z, isn't there? And that looked like an X back there. I'm not really sure if they intended a Star Fox reference, or if this was released before Star Fox, wasn't it?
I don't remember when Star Fox came out. I never actually played the original Star Fox.
Neither did I. It's okay, you didn't miss anything. Anyway, whoa, look at eyesores. There's a lot of this hack, I just realized. That looks like what we consider a lot of noob stuff now. Siri everywhere. Looks terrible.
Was the style at the time, I guess.
And this is actually to get missiles.
Yeah, this is an improvement over like the TAS that there is currently, I believe.
Yeah.
Usually you'd have to go like a side route to collect missiles. It requires traveling a few extra rooms, but with this you can just go up and grab it right in the first room.
Yeah, so there is quite a lot of interesting stuff in here, I have to say, despite you actually doing a terrible hack. Now, why couldn't you actually like do this on a good hack?
Because most good hacks don't have this much breakability.
I don't believe you. No,
It's like
just
everything I
just
ever.
let that sink in. Most good hacks don't have this much breakability. I wonder what makes them good. Maybe that they're not breakable?
Oh yes, and Super Metroid is so good and has a great speedrunning community precisely because it cannot be broken in any way.
Pretty much.
Quit derping.
No, Super Metroid's not a hack, though.
Well, it seems like every single hack I've beta tested, as soon as I found a break, like I found a few in Mockingbird Station, everyone always has to change it to make sure that people can't get an item early.
This seems like a major thing. I know since you're one of my testers for Fear, you mentioned something that you could get early, then I immediately fixed it. I've since rescinded that and changed it back because I think it's interesting. I'm now starting to think more breakable might be interesting, even if it's just something like what you did is ridiculous. To break it, it's absolutely ridiculous what you did. Whether anybody finds it, I'm not even sure. Those are interesting lettuce leaves. But yeah. But more breakable, I don't think is such a bad thing, actually. Although this one seems a bit more, I guess, easier to break.
I think it's just the fact that a lot of this stuff is, I don't know how to describe it. It uses a lot of bomb blocks and a lot of invisible walls, but there are ways around the map to avoid barriers that would normally block you, like requiring grapple or something to get into an area. You can just go the back way.
Yeah. And that room was just one thing. Random spot in the wall. Oh, hey, you can morph through it.
That's this entire hack, really.
Yeah, and that's one of the big reasons I don't like this.
Here's a gate glitch.
I couldn't tell that was a gate glitch. So can't you glitch gates from the other direction too?
Well, we do in this run.
I thought
You just have to have speed booster because your speed has to be high enough.
No, because the game doesn't like having equal speed on directions. It's very...
Well, it has to do with, like, if you're facing left, the beam is placed 1 pixel further away from Samus than if you're facing right for some reason.
Because she's not like a full 16 pixels or whatever it is, doesn't fill the whole space to the one direction, but does the other or something like that. I don't know. It makes sense in my head.
Getting technical will make people's heads explode anyway.
Anyway, if you wanted missiles a normal way, there's a secret in that room.
Yes, you jump up right in the middle.
Right
through invisible walls.
Yeah. Oh, hey, look at this amazing scenery everywhere.
At least it makes for a fun wall jumping room.
And this room, I believe, was quite fun for you.
Yes, I had to use a bunch of save states to figure out how to get through that door without getting hit by a bug. Because another flaw with this hack, sometimes you will get hit coming out of a door and there's nothing you can do about it.
Which is awful design. Don't ever assume the player would be, oh, okay, I have enough energy or whatever. It should never happen. You just coming out of a door, you should not get punished for exploring. Unless it's like a heat room. In which case, that gives them plenty of time to turn back because it does not take 60 or whatever damage right away. And yay for more invisible walls.
This looks like a Super Mario Bros. 3 reference to me with airships.
It does a little bit. And this is like the third time I've watched this run. I have some issues with stuff you do. I know it isn't a TAS, but there is some stuff that just does not make sense.
I was still also kind of exploring, like, how many items do I need to collect? I didn't know that. Because I'm not familiar with... Because you do have to kill the Zebatites in this run.
Yes. Because you don't actually collect a beam, do you?
No, I skip Ice Beam.
Yeah, so he skips... You don't even get charged, do you? You have to have charge.
Yeah, I get charge.
But
I just did. I already did.
Oh, durr! It's under the gate.
Someone's paid attention.
Oh, yeah. What can you expect? This hack puts me to sleep. So anyway, all this amazing path, you get this terrible bomb tracer room.
Yes, it was the inspiration for So Little Time.
No, actually. This So Little Time was not inspired by this hack in any shape or form.
What, it's like the spiritual successor?
Oh yeah, you mean awful and terrible? So Little Time is not as breakable. So yeah, spikes all over the floor, crumble block in front of the door, so it makes you jump up on these platforms. It's...
Speaking of which, if you're not expecting it, that can be considered like a forced damage almost, too.
Yeah, that would be, because you don't normally go way jumping up to doors, sliding on platform up above.
Maybe the hack creator does that all the time, though, so he didn't have a problem with it. So a lot of things I noticed is that people's, when they make hacks, they kind of suit it to their own play style.
Which is to be expected, I think. I mean, why wouldn't you suit it to your own playstyle? It's your hack. You kind of just assume, I think, that everybody plays this way. And while that's not necessarily true at all...
It'll be interesting to see people, what they make of Fear, considering it's had, of course, you're the main level designer, but there's been a couple people that have done some extra
a few
level
bits
design.
here and there. I tend to think your stuff is the most ridiculous artist. But that's another...
It's probably because I spent too much time playing Golden Dawn.
Probably. Way too influenced by the stupid hack. So anyway, you go all that way for bombs. Which is not as bad as some hacks, but still.
Yeah, it's not as bad as Event Horizon.
That's...
Wonder who made
Event
that.
Horizon's much more linear, though. Because at this point, you wouldn't even normally have missiles until you find the ceiling. It's a whole bunch of googly dog. Anyway, over here, interesting placement of Variasuit.
And interesting placement of missiles.
Yeah.
But Variasuit just... This makes no sense. I mean, there is a hint with that bomb block wall up top that you can't bomb. But finding the actual bomb block is like a pain in the butt.
Yeah, there's no way that's happening. I mean, obviously it does happen, but...
This was actually innovative because he had to take series tiles and rip them out of a tile set and import them into a non-series tile set just to get them to work with CRE. So this was actually... This may be the first graphical edit in a released hack, even though it uses vanilla
You mean
tiles.
tile set combination or whatever?
Yeah.
Are you sure? What about Arena 7? Well, maybe that doesn't use Siri. You're right, that may be an interesting trivia if that's correct. Remember, kids, it's not important to be good, you just have to be there first. And then all the trivia's about you. Now this missile, I completely disagree with you getting it.
It's also important to be first because then people will say that your stuff is original. If someone else does the same thing better later on, who cares? It's not original.
Yeah. I do not
Our wonderful
agree with that.
society today.
So let me rant about your stupid missile collecting, because that missile was stupid.
The TAS grabbed it too.
Yeah, but the TAS is slower than this too, so it's the missile's fault. TAS doesn't grab some other
Well,
missiles.
the TAS is probably quicker in this considering it's TAS as opposed to this stuff. Here, I just wanted to see what the time was on the in-game clock, so I saved.
It's technically a speed run.
It's technically the skeletal structure of a speedrun.
So it's right up here, I believe, is a trick or a path you discovered.
I'm fairly certain the TS does this too.
It does, but I thought you came up with that first. I don't remember. Like for your record run or whatever it is.
Maybe. Like, I don't remember if the TS was even up at the time when I did my speedrun. I don't think it was, because that was years ago.
And this room is a disaster.
Just like all rooms.
Yeah, there's... And that is a huge complaint I have. You don't know what's solid, what isn't solid.
You have to explore and find everything to get through the room, and there's just no flow anymore.
And there's no consistency, really. Other than the whole hack is made like this. So anyway, you are headed to Grapple Beam now. Which I guess with Grapple Beam you don't really need any other beams. And you failed the damage boost.
Well, I didn't need to.
Yeah, I didn't need to really. All the way through those wonderful gamuts. And here's just more Golden Dawn wonderful look.
Morph mazes.
You can't see.
Invisible walls.
This hack actually made you open up Smile at one point, I believe.
Yes, it's in Craig's area, in fact.
Yes, but that'll come a little later. So anyway, we're coming up on, actually, after Grapple Beam. You do something that, and you would destroy the TAS in the one room going back. Because of the trick you used. That was not known at the time the TAS was made. I kind of wish there were more people who did TASs and speedruns and stuff. I like watching those stuff. Because it's interesting to see, even on hacks like this.
There's a nice little trick there.
Yeah. Just jump through the floor? Or ceiling, whatever it is. Yeah, let's jump down through the floor. Brilliant. So you go a little bit out of your way to grab this energy tank, but I guess it's not too terrible.
It's more terrible than that missile pack you complain about.
Yeah, so you should have just skipped the missile pack to give yourself more time here. And you should have damage boost off the dragons, but that's beside the point. I wonder how many save states that took. Okay, now this is interesting. This little grapple, morph, jump, morph, jump, morph, jump, morph, jump. It's a very interesting thing, and if used in good rooms, you can really save quite a bit of time with it.
Maybe. I'm not actually so sure about that. That it saves much.
If the TAS can do a wall jump up a single wall, that'll be faster for sure.
Well, the TAS almost practically does that, though.
Yeah, but it has to stop and get hit by some enemies. So anyway, with Grapple, now where are you going?
I am heading to Norfair. Or is it called the Underworld in this hack?
I believe so. Which reminds me again. Okay, I named an area in Fear the Underworld. I have to change it now because I refuse to have it associated with Golden Dawn in any way. Like, my hack may be bad, but it's not going to be associated with this kind of bad. And this hack also makes me rage at some bubbles. Because they're just awful bubbles in this hack.
We're not getting to that just yet.
But you're getting there. Slowly.
Fun fact, some of the FX settings in these rooms... This is probably a stupid missile here.
It's probably faster than the one it took 3 bombs to get to.
I don't know, because I had to go up instead of just falling down.
Yeah, but then you had to bomb, wait for that bomb to go off, and then bomb the other block up top of that. I do not mind that missile as much as that one you bombed in the floor to get.
Doing this speedrun actually taught me how to double bomb jump as well, which you'll see I start doing more later.
Yes. Because a room you were raging in.
Yes.
Yes, and I could do single bomb jump just fine. But the double bomb jump is a bit beyond me. It's a whole different timing system. It's something I have not learned yet. So
I guess there's a few bubbles if you want to complain about them, but they don't stay on screen very long.
they're hideous. They're hideous. I found Black Tlomeras, who made this hack, did something that a lot of people tried to do. Oh, and these rooms are just terrible. There's like a couple of these rooms where you have to take damage or whatever with rising acid later. Or one
At
of them.
least there was an energy refill nearby.
Yeah, but later on, these rising acid rooms, or lava in this case, get pretty annoying. Lava bath. Because who doesn't love lava baths when you're dying?
A magma monster.
Aren't they called hands or something? I don't remember what they're called. Lava hand or something. Something bland like that. Oh, look at that, bubbles. It's not that I'm not happy to see them, it's that they're just not...
They're ugly and sickly and...
very bad. Yes. Anyway, you're actually headed to super missiles, aren't you?
Yes.
Which is kind of in a weird place. It's like Variasuit, Grapple Beam, Missiles, Morph. What else is there? No, Gravity Suit's behind Gold Tree, but there's like a lot of items in this hack that aren't really behind bosses. Like you skip Crocomire, he has Ice
A
Beam.
few of the bosses are actually Spore Spawn and Ridley are just like sort of blocking the way of the path instead of an item.
Which isn't such a bad thing. I don't mind that actually. It's a little bit different. I mean, obviously, if you defeat a boss, especially if it's more difficult or a harder boss for you, you'd like to get something in return other than, oh, hey, I can advance. It's like, maybe I want to advance with a more powerful beam, but whatever. But yeah, just like the super missiles are just placed. You don't find anything. You just run across them. Although, yeah, because they're right here. It's like, hey, random super missile. And this is supposed to be your first super, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure you can get them anywhere else.
Yeah, it's very strange. It's not a bad thing, it's just a little bit weird. And here's a wonderful acid room I was referring to because, hey, you have to get damaged. And if you mess up, you do not...
You're likely dead.
Yeah, because you do not have a lot of energy. And something to mention about Golden Dawn, there is not save stations. There's your ship and no others, I believe, right?
I don't think he knew how to set them up.
No. I think he tried moving them because he said something about the save stations were working. I think he tried moving them but didn't realize he had to edit the actual stuff in the area load stations. So they just kept messing up on him.
I wish I could figure out how the TAS did the trick where it manages to jump through the ceiling on this. Every time I've tried it, it won't let me get to jump through ceiling on that. So I have to fall down and jump up that way. It just seems like the sort of thing that should be possible in real time. It just doesn't ever seem to work.
Yeah. And this is the room where you...
This room is total rage.
like the hack. Because the stupid Meridian bugs. If you want to annoy people, put Meridian bugs in the room. Because they suck. Even though they're the same as the Norfair bugs, Meridian ones are exceptionally annoying. Especially that one.
Yes, because it hides in a wall. Now this, with a TAS precision, you can wall jump up the side of the wall through the door, but it requires pixel perfect positioning. So in this case, I just have to bomb jump. In this case, I started to learn to double bomb jump.
Which goes a lot faster than single bomb jumping. Surprisingly. I had no idea. Hey, that room wasn't touched. Door was flipped.
Oops.
Random super missile. Way! Hide out in the tube. Hello!
While this run really does suck, the truth is that if I had taken the time to try and get everything perfect in each room, it would have been a huge waste of time when it came to the end.
That is very true.
As it is, this is probably about like a day or two's worth of work wasted.
It's
Like,
not
I don't know.
wasted. It's actually quite enjoyable to be able to say, you know, I told you there's a statue room. And this is hideous. See, here's a trap I think a lot of people fall into with bubbles. Think, oh well, Super Mario tried green bubbles, but there were purple bubbles in the original. I want to make purple bubbles in Super. And then they come up with this garbage. They don't turn the glow off, which is another thing. Then there's this ugly green thing in these bubbles.
I know, I do not know why that green color was left untouched.
It's like, do you not see the hideous stuff you have just created? It's like, oh my goodness, fix it.
Considering certain palettes you see later on in this hack, I'm not certain he thought these bubbles were hideous.
There is... The Sky Temple later on is absolutely mind-numbingly bad.
Also, for some reason here, I start trying to charge and spin jump into everything, which actually ends up slowing me down on certain things.
Yes. And he does have Grapple Beam, but doesn't seem to use that quite a bit of stuff. Now that is a very interesting move. More go through door, get hit. That's bad design.
Hey, if you do a charge spin jump through, you could actually...
You don't know to do that the first time through there. And even then, you'd only hit one bug. And why did they change from disc gigas to side hoppers all of a sudden? It's like, oh, this one room, I'll put a side hopper in instead of disc giga.
A lot of these rooms were taken from Brinstar, so we probably just kept the enemies that were there for a large part. But
true.
You know, I want to say some of these rooms were Norfair too. Like that, I actually thought that might have been the pre-wave room.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it's very similar with the enemies. So that is something to keep in mind when you're making a hack. Is you may, even though you may change the room around entirely, people may still be able to tell what it is based on what enemies are there. It's not.
Or they may just think that it is, even though you completely changed a different room. But it's usually not a great thing if people think, oh, this room, I know what room this is.
Yeah.
Of course, some people may actually like that, but to me, it just kind of makes it feel like you were lazy or something.
Yeah. And you really need some help for stuff coming up.
But then there wouldn't be as much drama.
That's true. What are you doing? Oh my... This is how you could tell a... Oh my goodness. A TAS from a speedrun. Because the TAS has very good management. That's not to say
a real speedrun has very good management too.
That's true.
This had no management. This was just
Yes, there was no
shoot
management.
things.
It's like, as long as I can get through this room I'm in now, I'm good. Which is not what you need to be thinking about.
Well, that is pretty much how I did it because I couldn't remember the hack too much. So I literally did this room by room, not really remembering what the next room was for a lot of the run.
Don't try that at home, kids.
That's why it was meant to be just like the skeleton, a test run.
Which is a good thing it was, because your little goop at the end. Like, oh, Dragon, I can skip him. No, there's no statue room. Ridley's in the escape. There's no statue room. Oh, and look at this wonderful room.
Now the background palette is actually quite acceptable.
Yes, that background palette is great. I like that pink.
Survive with one energy, yay. Are you on the edge of your seat yet?
If I do that, you'll hear my chair squeak, and that's not.
I was talking to the audience, you know.
Oh.
They're gripped with fear.
Oh my goodness. That just grappled them into this. Anyway, random sports spawn fight.
Which I did not remember how to fight until I almost started dying, and oh, yeah, I can do
Yes,
this.
there is. I'm sorry. You are jumping into him. You know, at some point you should realize the little fuzzy spore things deal a lot less damage than he does.
I do that a couple times, it's just I didn't feel as necessary at this point.
It's always necessary. You always conserve energy. Oh my goodness.
I don't know, when you're used to fighting Pandora, you probably just think every other spore spawn is weak.
Except this one almost kills you. You know, the Pandora spore spawn doesn't actually kill you. It just pushes you off the edge. It makes you restart the fight over.
Which can kill you if you slowly run out of all your energy that way.
That is true. But the most annoying thing about that one is... more energy! Let's make some room. Oh, hey, you jumped into a fuzzy finally. Like, oh wait, I'm safe up here. Why didn't I do this before? Very fortunate that spore appeared right there.
Yeah, it's very fortunate indeed.
This brown palette is much better than his regular palette. Anyway.
For some reason, that brown palette reminded me of Pipe Dream for the NES. Just reminded me of the brown pipes.
Yes.
I used to ride elevators, but they always took me down.
Yes. That too. And now there's more fun stuff.
This wreck ship, I think, is the most awful wreck ship in all of hackdom.
Hackdom? Yeah. Okay, now, I am not a fan of the wreck ship tile set myself. I don't think you can make it look good.
I don't think this wreck ship tile set is actually used bad. I think it's just the way the levels are put together, it is difficult to move around.
Like most of the hack. It's just built to pull your hair out. And if you don't do it, it will.
And it has nothing special like a Gen's wreck ship did to keep you interested, or at least scared.
There was nothing special about Again ever.
Except for the ideas that were used in Fear that came from it.
Like what? I refuse to admit anything came from Again. This used in Fear.
Let's just say there are certain Metroids, and again, and we're using the concepts involved with them in Fear.
Anyway, random Fantoon fight. Now this is actually one of the bosses that technically gives you an item. Even though there's only one door in this place. And I have an issue with where you are right now. You should be
It's
on the floor.
it's just the way I've always fought him. It's probably because the TAS I watched stayed up there in that corner.
Difference being that was a TAS.
Yes, the TAS would not have this guy appear and hit you 3 times like that.
And you doobered it up and used super right there. Did you really want to use a super?
That was intentional, yes. I don't know why I did it.
I don't know why you did it either. It seemed very odd. You can actually destroy all those flames that he shoots out, but it's much easier with Spacer. Because with, I don't know if you can do it with Power Beam, knock all the flames out.
I think you can with a charge shot.
Maybe. But yeah, this Phantom Room is actually more interesting. I don't mind this Phantom Room so much. It's interesting, at least.
I hate it.
It's not Mockingbird Station.
Mockingbird Stations was easy.
Only if you collected every energy tank. Otherwise, you're going to die. I like how it kind of sounds like an angry sheep.
I thought I always sound like an elephant.
I don't know about that. No, this doesn't seem like that. All this wonderful stuff. Now this Phantoon is a very difficult fight for a speedrun.
Usually because he's like the first... Is he the first major boss you fight?
In this hack he has been, yeah. It's not just that, I mean, even if he's a later boss and you're well prepared for him, a speedrun just doesn't, because he can give you a really, really bad pattern where it just takes forever to knock him out just because his pattern, and there's really nothing you can do about that. Like a TAS, you can keep resetting it, and even sometimes the TAS has issues with it.
Also, this is the worst speed boost escape room ever.
Spoilers.
Oh, like they couldn't tell what room it was.
I couldn't. I watched it 4 times and I didn't know. So yeah, this... this room, I actually kind of like how it looks. This is like the best wreck ship tile set room ever. But it's still ugly. It's a wreck ship tile set, so it's like, you can't really do much.
It's like you expect a speed boost there, but then the slopes aren't set up right, so you always hit those stairs like that and stop.
Yeah. It's fun for the whole family. If you think taking a bath and loft.
Family of masochists.
Well, that too, but that's beside the point.
Hooray, more almost death.
Have to keep him interested somehow. High command. I wonder if the person in command of this hack was high. I'm sure there's an off button for bad jokes, but I haven't found it yet. Now, there's something about the TAS you find very curious with Plasma Beam.
Yeah, the TAS runs back all the way through the wreck ship to collect Plasma Beam, but it hardly uses Plasma for anything. I mean, you have Hyper Beam once you destroy Mother Brain. And I question whether the time saved on Mother Brain by getting Plasma actually makes it worth traveling all the way back, because he goes partway through the Sky Temple and then heads back.
It's true. I still want to say it might be faster, though. It would be close, because The time you spend on Mother Brain is ridiculous.
This is true.
I mean, that is crazy how much time you spend on Mother Brain. Because you do have to take off that set amount of health. And the power beam, just charged power beam shots, doesn't...
Feels less than a missile.
Yeah. It is not that great. Oh, this is that one room you spend forever.
Yes.
It's like, this is where you collect your third energy tank or something?
Third or fourth. I think it's the third, actually.
Yeah, I think you collect it here. Because, like, oh, hey, I better get all the energy I can. Because there's an energy tank in here that I need to cross spikes for. But let me jump in every other way. Or do you come? Nope. Instead of going through that door, you go all the way back through the other door to reset. What are you doing? Oh, you're not doing it yet. Cool.
Yeah.
What in the world?
I did it because my energy was super low after,
Oh! Oh, okay. Interesting, I guess, three-dimensional graphics that don't look three-dimensional. Very interesting, how's it? Very weird looking. And that background is amazingly bad. Oh, hey, this is the last super pickup you get, I believe.
I don't remember, honestly. I think so.
Because you are actually headed to Kraid now, right?
Yes.
And Kraid...
This is the area. I think it's the next room, actually, that forced me to open Smile.
Oh, yes.
Yes, it was this stupid morph maze I could not find my way through because it has a whole bunch of dead ends.
Yeah.
If you don't know where to go.
And it's ridiculous. It's like hidden passage, morph maze, dead ends everywhere. It's... No. No. Should just damage boosted.
This is like, as the Lost Levels was to the original Mario Brothers, this is like the Lost Levels to the Lost Levels of Super Metroid.
Except the Lost Levels I actually enjoyed. And wonderful Rinkus. Just little donuts floating around the air. And wonderful Kraid.
He's been buffed a little bit in this hack, I think.
Yeah, because you don't do the quick kill or whatever.
Well, I don't remember. Do I get like 3 supers in him or something? I know I don't get all 4.
Yeah, 3. Normally just one more missile will take care of him, but I believe it takes another couple supers or so.
Actually, I believe I run out of supers.
Maybe you do. Oh yeah, he's definitely buffed. Been working out. Hitting the gym.
I saved that one super just because I thought I might need it to open a door.
Yeah. See, and that brings up a point about one of the most important things with speedrunning, TASing, whatever. You have to have a route. A good route, and know what you need at what point. Because then you can have some good management. As that's one of the reasons why I really like the TS, is because it shows that how much the person who did it really took the time to, especially on a good TAS, they really take the time to know what they need and when and plan everything out.
Well, in order to do that, they do this. Like you're seeing right here.
Yes. Difference is they remember statue rooms. So anyway, Kraid gives this door open. You may have glimpsed it sooner. This room is like, oh hey, there's nothing here. Oh yeah, power bomb. Why hide it there? Just give it to them.
It's just the little touches.
The little touches that make me want to punch rabbits.
You would be doing the world a service.
By punching
Or something. Yes.
I don't know how I'd be doing the world a service, but... You would be going faster through this room if you took speed booster off. Because fun physics. It also helps if you, like, climb.
Yeah, I always had to pay in the butt with that.
Hey, back to the Eternal Ugly.
In which I spent an eternity to get an energy tank.
Yes.
Because I have to recover like over 2 energy tanks worth.
You should have
And I
got
have
the
an
energy
obsession
tank
to
the first time.
charge spin jump into everything now.
You should have got the energy tank if you're going to get this one the first time you passed through here, because you had the energy.
Yeah, but I wasn't thinking about even getting it at the time.
It's just...
Except I didn't have power bombs. You need power bombs.
To get the energy tank?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
Oh, well, shows how much I know. You do a fake little wimpy pseudo screw attack at that waiver. It's like, oh, he ran away. I guess I'll just leave him alone.
Oh, yeah, I could shoot these little bugs.
And run into these guys and die.
I hate those guys.
Garudas. It's a good thing you get an energy tank down there because you wouldn't make the way back. Those Garudas are kind of annoying. Which means I kind of want to change them around to make them faster. Yes. So yes,
You mean you want me to change them around? I have some ideas on how to do that.
You've already made the worst enemy in history. Oh boy.
Oh. Well, I guess this isn't really the place to talk about it.
No. So anyway, with that energy tank, you now have all the energy tanks you need. At this point, you go to the Sky Temple, don't you?
Gold torso.
Oh, that's right, you need gravity suit, that's right. Because Gold Torizo holds gravity suit. You know, I would find Gold Torizo is the hardest boss.
It's because they're angry.
On average, for like every hack. Oh, you get another energy tank here. Why did you grab the other one then?
Because I wanted 4 energy tanks.
Oh my goodness. You only need 3. Since you save state at the start of every room. Oh boy. Oh well, I guess it's more leeway. Wonderful Meridian Tube Room. But yeah, on average, I think that people make Gold Torizo the hardest. And getting to him from this way is so fun.
Hey, I just made it look easy.
Yeah, sure. Hey, Gold Torizo, just hanging out. How are you?
I'm gonna shoot you with my charge beam until you submit. It may take a while. Well, actually, I mostly use supers.
Well, yeah, because that's the smart thing. Why aren't you grappling?
I had to move my position around. Because for some reason, at times, I would be where he wouldn't be able to hit me, but when I'd fire straight up, I wouldn't be able to hit him either.
There is always that issue. And when you're in the right position, not only can he not hit you with his little wave things, he can't even hit you with the supers he grabs. He just throws them up in the air. It's like, that'll reach. It's like, bzz. Yes, this fight may take a while. It's actually nothing compared to the Mother Brain fight.
Yeah, I think this one only takes like, what, 10,000 frames? Mother Brain's like, what, 40,000? 30,000?
Something like that, yeah. To put that in perspective, it's...
Mother Brain's like 1/10 of the whole run.
Yeah, well, not only that, just in terms of the time. Now, I kind of, sort of, do my own like runs based on frames. That's kind of how I time them out. So they're all sort of similarly timed and all that. 10,000 frames is about 2 minutes.
3.6 minutes.
3.6 minutes, is it? That was like 250. I think it's around 2 minutes 50 seconds, somewhere in that. It ranges depending on how much information's in there or whatever. Well, no, it doesn't. It should be this.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, that's right. I'm thinking
You're closer than I was. I don't know why I was thinking that. I think it's something else.
Yeah, it's like 2. It's almost 3 minutes in length, basically.
3,600 frames is a minute.
Yeah. It's.
So 3 minutes is 10,800 frames.
So yeah, it's almost 3 minutes. Is basically what it is. So Mother Brain takes over 10 minutes, or I think she does take over 10 minutes in total.
She could probably
for her chicken form.
She could probably take a whole video.
Yes. Before the YouTube limit was up to 15 minutes or whatever, she would take an entire video with this. That would be exciting to watch. A whole video segment, nothing but Mother Brain. It'd be like rewatching Z Factor all over again. You're like going, ugh, Zeridia. Now there's this gravity suit.
He did something funky with the slopes that made it difficult to grab.
You can't just jump underneath it and get it. You have to come at it from an angle. It's like, come at me, bro. Oh, hey, there's more supers here.
Oh, that's right.
We are brilliant. We are smart. We're like...
We need plasma to make it go.
We're like Packlids. And if you don't know who Packlids are, don't worry.
You're not missing much. They're smart, though.
Yes. And Star Trek is smart. Anyway. Gravity suit, now you go to the Sky Temple, I believe. Because Mother Brain takes up quite a bit of the rest of the movie file that's left. So that
yeah, I think I've got all the necessary items.
You have a ton of missiles and supers for what you need. I mean, you do have to destroy the Z.
And yet, due to poor management...
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember what I even used all that stuff on now.
Well, you needed to use it on some stuff, though. I'm pretty sure you actually used it. I guess we'll find out again. We've only watched it 4 times. We don't know anything. But...
Well, it was like last week or something when we tried to record this.
Yeah.
And it failed.
It did. Which is why we're trying to record setup and all that. But anyway, the whole end of this run, it shows where the bad management comes in. And where you'll see the difference between, you could do rooms, TAS rooms, to do them good. But if you don't manage them properly, it's going to be hideous. You're going to have a bunch of trouble. And the trouble starts in the Sky Temple, which you just got blinded. This is disgustingly bad ballot. It's like the bubbles on crack. This is hideous.
And yet, it was also what made me wonder, what can I get away with when I made my absurdly bright and vibrant Angry Fire Chisel palette? But everyone seemed to like that.
Yes, the Angry Fire Chisel palette's not bad. This is bad.
I think it's more the lime green than the yellow sky.
It's the mix together. Honestly, I wouldn't mind the greens as much if it wasn't mixed with the yellow. And now there's this wonderful path through here, if you would get in there. The crumble blocks you have to cross there, so you have to be fast enough to go over them. But you go through this golden donut mess of, hey, guess what? You can't tell where you have to go to get to Screw Attack back here. Which screw attack is quite a nice item to have. And it really does save time with your bad management later.
Yeah, the TAS actually collects it, I think.
Yes, it does.
But at this point, the TAS, I think, goes back for plasma.
Yeah.
Which, considering the length of the Mother Brain fight, may have been a good idea.
And maybe it may not be. It's debatable because they're both long. Going back for plasma is long. Going to
In
Mother
game
Brain's long.
time, I definitely think might be longer. Real time, I don't know.
Yeah. And instead of glitching through the gate, you glitch the gate. But a different way.
That didn't make no sense.
Be quiet. So, I mean, this is hideous, but it's not as bad because it's no yellow. Metroids make wonderful noises. And then you go down here because the crab. You need the power bomb.
Yes, now I need to start farming power bombs.
This
'Cause I don't
whole
have
back
ice.
section is farming and Mother Brain. That is literally what this whole Sky Temple is. It's farming and Mother Brain. And you need the power bombs because you have to destroy a Metroid in the next room, but you don't have ice. Which amazingly the TAS collects, so it saves time back here. So I guess
Could possibly be averted if there's like a power bomb along the way.
yeah, grab another. So you have more. So yeah, it is interesting to see, the difference. By not collecting power bomb or collecting ice beam, he saved time in the beginning, but now he's losing time to the TAS. So you see routes kind of, they do matter. Now, Metroids, and then the door's unlocked. Yay! Why are wreck ship key hunters in here? I don't know.
Probably because this was probably made from wreck ship rooms.
Probably. Anyway.
And here's where the... Oh, hey, I can skip space jump.
Yes, the space jump was supposed to be required for this part.
First, let's collect these power bombs using skills.
And you do have to take screw attack off.
Yes, if you have screw attack on, then whenever you spin jump into those spikes, your damage timer is reset and you get hurt.
So yes, and this is where space jump's supposed to be needed, but not with the grapple.
That's the whole reason I did this run, because I was reading old thread about this hack. And it's like, pretty certain space jumps required by Black Telomer's. Like, I think it can be skipped.
Like, you don't know your hack. I bet there's not even a statue. Which amazingly, space jump is behind Dragon. Which is where the issue comes up at the end.
Yes.
It's like, well, I don't need space jump, so I don't have to fight Dragon, because that just wastes time. That was a wonderful waste of time behind those platforms.
Red Brinstar music,
Because if it's
or terrain.
terrain. They come at me, Metroids. Rear and all that.
That was lame.
And poof goes the Metroid. And door opens.
Oh, here's where part of the stuff comes in, because I have to kill that blue guy.
Yes. So yes, I used 5 supers there. Why didn't you just speed boost up this?
I wasn't thinking. By this point, I was very tired. Like, tired of the run in general.
And he hadn't even come to the game breaker. Now here is where
I'm like, oh, I need some stuff for what's coming up, because Mother Brain's just around the corner.
yes, Mother Brain is the next room. Why didn't you refill your energy?
I don't... Oh, I was going to get that power bomb up there, I think.
Oh. Why are you getting this power bomb? What good does it do?
No clue.
Literally, what do you need this for? Okay, so you do. Okay, good. So yes, now he actually farms red key hunters.
It's the only thing that's left.
Yeah.
And it's painfully slow. It's probably going to take up the next 5 minutes.
And then the next 10 or so after that's Mother Brain. In Chicken Force. That is literally... This is where management comes in handy. And like those power bombs up there, there was no need for them. I was like, oh my goodness, what are you doing? This is where the run completely falls apart to the TAS. Or even your other speed run.
Yeah, my other speedrun, I actually collected a lot more items. Like stuff that wasn't too far away, I just grabbed. There's this, I don't need this. Oh, I might need this coming up, but then I skip like more productive stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, so that is
I
one.
grab a, I grab power bombs up in the corner, but I don't grab a pair of super missiles I could have earlier on. Stuff like that.
Yeah. It's planning the route. It's all very, very important for any sort of speedrun of TS. And this demonstrates why. Now, skip the Mother Brain thing isn't actually... I don't think it's that bad.
Well, it's sort of what I
It's with what
have
he
to do.
has, yeah, with his route and stuff, it's what he has to do, so that's okay. But this here... this could have been avoided to an extent. Cut down a little bit somewhere. Refilled in maybe a better spot, quicker spot.
I think I have enough already to activate Mother Brain. It's just I didn't know how much I needed, so I fill myself all the way.
Yeah. That's another thing. You do need to know the game, like the requirements for stuff and all that. It really does help out with, making this work.
Yeah, early on I was all excited to do this. By this point, I was just like, this hack sucks. So I didn't really think about it too much anymore.
I can tell you where. Okay, when he was still excited to be doing this is when I told him there's a statue room. And he's still... Oh, good grief, those birds. I know people say they can't hear them, but your mic normally isn't on when I'm recording. I'm
Yeah,
hearing
we'll
the
see
echo.
how.
I'm pretty sure they're in here. Well, they might provide more entertainment than what's going on the screen right now. Good grief, those birds are going off. I think even they're complaining about this. So, but yeah, it's interesting to watch. I like watching speedruns and TASs, but you can kind of see the professional, I guess, TASs and speedruns compared to this, where it started out fine, but it just kind of bogs down.
Lost its way.
Yeah, there's a lot of, I guess, stick-to-itiveness and
But don't worry, soon this farming will be over and you'll be
watching him
me fight
farm Mother Brother.
Mother Brain.
It's the Mother Brothers.
I'll
Oh,
give you your Mother Brother.
Super Mario Brothers with the blade.
Yeah, I'm like, oh wait, I'm full.
Yeah, I don't need this. And down this area. Hi, Metroid. Ringage.
I should just laid a power bomb at the first place and just got them all after me. Would have been quicker than trying to get them all on screen at once.
And then, like a doofus, you let them attach to you.
Slaying extra because we can.
And then, hey. Like I can't take damage. I have over energy tank I can spare. Okay, now this annoys me. And it probably shouldn't.
Supers are much more effective at killing Zebatites than regular missiles, in terms of speed.
Yes, but I hate using supers on Zebatites. It annoys me to no end. Even in my 100% runs, where I'd probably be saving a lot of time using supers on the Zebatites, I still use the missiles. So yes, he's got plenty to activate him, her. But you see how many supers and regular missiles he has left? And this chicken form still takes about 10 minutes. It is maybe not 10 minutes, but it's ridiculous.
Why is this called the chicken form anyway?
I don't know.
Maybe it's the feet. They're kind of like rooster claws.
Rooster claws. I believe it's called chicken feet. Maybe that's why doctors have bad handwriting. Because, you know, people with big brains write in chicken scratch.
That don't make sense, Kurt.
No, because Mother Brain has a big brain. She's got chicken claws or whatever. She writes in chicken scratch, obviously. So smart people. That was a stretch when I started. I had to do something to keep this interesting. Yes. Yeah, there's a lot of determination and stuff that goes into making these things. She could tell her quality went downhill toward the end of the run. It's just, you could kind of tell something's just like, oh, get this over with. Now, of course, the hack had something to do with it, I will say, because this hack is less than...
Well, let's discuss the hack a little bit. Like, overall rating, where would you place it?
0. No.
I'd give it 3 out of 10.
I guess I would put it maybe around that. I'm not actually sure.
I mean, it's playable, but it's not enjoyable.
I mean, anymore, but the newer hacks, there's more hacks out now, and almost every hack is better. There's a lot of hacks I would put over top of this.
That are not nearly based on bomb everything to figure out the one way to move ahead.
Yeah. Oh, and there's hidden TAS, we say.
This hack took me like the longest out of all hacks to beat. Even though it's smaller than quite a few of the hacks, like even like Phase On.
Just a side note, he has not played Z Factor yet. I mean, although Z Factor took me forever, it was still fun. It was well built. This hack is not. I'm sorry. There's a huge difference between Z Factor and this. Z Factor is a huge maze and all whatnot, but it's a good maze. There are some instances where I was pretty annoyed with the hack, but it was much better than this hack. This hack is just a lot of stuff I don't like thrown in, and it's just really annoying. It's like, I'll be difficult for difficulty's sake.
And it sort of has this cramped feel to it at times that I just hate. I mean, I don't mind cramped level design. I mean, you'll see quite a bit of it in Fear.
That's almost all I make. But there's a certain...
Well, Fear's also got a big difference because the movement's faster.
Yeah, and it's more free. The cramped rooms, you can still move pretty freely through them. It's not like a whole bunch. It's not like stop and go.
Yeah, you don't have to stop and morph and bomb the wall a whole ton.
There is that, but it's not.
Well, there is that, but it's not like this where it's like an entire maze in every other room.
Yeah, it's just.
Which isn't true of this hack. It's just it feels that way.
It feels
sometimes.
like because there's so much more of it. It just feels like, you know, stop and start is not exactly fun. Oh, you're almost got her.
Almost being a relative term.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, if you really want to, I would actually recommend playing this just to know what not to do. Because unless you're epi, this hack is going to just show you annoying stuff. How to annoy a player. And if you don't want to do that, don't follow the example of the hack. Now, I will say there are a lot of bad hacks. There are worse hacks than this.
Shadows LOL.
If you're just looking for a hack to play, I would not recommend this.
If you've tried a lot of other stuff, like a lot of the other A-list hacks on Metcons, then you might give this a try.
Yeah, I mean, if you're bored, basically. It's like if you want to play every hack in existence, sure. Either that or use it as a learning lesson hack. In terms of design choices, palette choices, there's a slight overuse of spikes. Now, I actually do not mind a lot of spikes, but placement of spikes is important. As long as the spikes are placed good, I don't mind a lot of spikes. Spikes can be in every room, as far as I care, as long as they're placed good.
You know, as long as they're not unavoidable damage after, or a crumble block.
Or making crazy, ridiculous stuff like a lot of half hacks do. Or to just put spikes everywhere to make it harder. That's... no. So yay, Mother Brain. See, I think going back to Plasma may... while it is a long way around, it still may be faster than this.
Retroid! I guess it's a sort of thing to take actual testing.
Yeah.
Which this was hardly a test by this point. This was just, I just want to get this over with and see what my time is. Oh wait, Dragon.
Yeah, statue room. I was told about that. I didn't listen. Although this was to show you didn't need to get Space Jump. Although Space Jump is right after Dragon, and you need to beat Dragon, so it doesn't make sense not to skip it. But oh well. I still don't know. And yeah, other green stuff. Okay, this is actually something I kind of want to do a little more of, like commentating over speedruns, TSs, or whatever. So, if anybody has, I guess, MV files or whatever that we could play back on the emulator, I'd like to be able to do that. Just comment over it. Because I will be honest, there are TSs I watch, and even TSs I like and I think are really good, that I question some of the things they do, or that person does. It's like, why did they do that? That doesn't make sense. So I don't know. It's interesting to see, and I would like to see maybe, and especially maybe some speedruns or TSs of lesser known hacks. Although would love to see one of Z Factor. There's not one, like a really pro speedrun or TS of that. I would love to see one of that. That being said, I still like to see other hacks. Lesser known stuff. Maybe even bad hacks like this one. Pew!
Yeah, one thing we should probably mention is that if this is your first experience with a hack, we've actually skipped a great portion of it.
Yeah.
But what we've skipped is pretty much more of the same. It's more invisible walls and guess where to go.
Yep. And hello, seizure. That's this one. But yeah, this...
I remember how excited I was when I first figured out, when I was learning ASM, and first figured out how to change the glows.
Yeah.
That wasn't something that was known back when this hack was made.
And still not... I don't think many people do it. Anyway, this was the big surprise of the hack. Ridley's in the escape.
Which also happens to screw up your escape timer.
Yes, because there's only so much graphic space in the RAM or VRAM, whatever it is. And
only so much
Ridley
space allotted.
grabs it.
Well, there's actually more than enough space. It's just that timer is programmed to go at a certain location, I believe.
Oh, and Ridley's kind of overriding it.
Yeah.
So you just move the timer to the other location and it'll be fine?
I think theoretically it's possible.
Theoretically. So anyway, this is actually where the run is going to be ending because he did not record all the way to the statue room. But trust me, it's there. That's why the run's not finished.
Yeah, there's just a hallway with ninja pirates after Ridley, and then there's a statue room.
Which, of course, no Dragon means no statue room, no beating the hack. So he actually just stops as the SMV stops here. Didn't want to record the embarrassment. So anyway, I guess since this is about to end, we should close it off here. So, guys, thank you for watching. We'll see you. Maybe we'll be commentating over another run that DSO does, or maybe we'll be commentating over someone else's if they send something in. Who knows?
It'll probably be better quality than this. Maybe a better hack too.
Maybe. So, with that, thanks for watching, and we will see you for who knows whatever's next. Should be interesting and fun. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, good. You should say bye. Stop.